and welcome to today's edition of Google Hangouts on Air. Okay, before we get started on today's topic, okay, we're just going to introduce ourselves. My name is Connor, and I work here in the Google European headquarters in Dublin. Okay, and we're presenting today with my colleague and good friend William. So I'm going to pass you on to William now to give his introduction.
Hi everyone who's joining. So my name is William. I work with Connor in the Dublin office. I spend my days helping clients who ring in with questions about their AdWords account. Questions about how they can maybe improve the performance, and we'll go through the accounts and work out the best way to get the most from it. I'm going to be fielding all your questions today. So during the broadcast, if you kindly pop in your questions there on the right, and we'll try to get through to as many as we possibly can during the Hangout. So back over to Connor, who will be talking about return on investment.
Okay, thank you so much, William. That's a fantastic introduction. So as William said, he's going to field all your questions, okay? So we're going to go through a topic today on how to control your results within AdWords. And if you have any issues or any questions concerning anything we go through, please just, as he said, pop them in, and William will field them for us. Now, we're going to try and get through as many as possible, but we can't get through all of them. So please just be patient if we can't get through them all, and make sure to call into us if we don't get to your question. So thanks very much for that. And so just before now we get started on the specific topic today, what I want to talk about is it's a little recap of what we've done over the past couple of weeks, okay? And that's all based upon the key ingredients of an AdWords campaign. So if you did tune in previously, what you would have seen is how to create a really effective campaign, okay? Which keywords to pick and how to really effectively write your ads, okay? And those things together create a really, really, really effective campaign. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't measure your success, okay? And it doesn't show us a return on investment. So that's what we're going to do today, okay? So on today's agenda, what we're going to do, we're going to define the key performance metrics. We're going to define the conversions for your business. Okay, we're going to show you how to implement conversion tracking, and we're going to understand the conversion data. And once we have that, you're going to have a fantastic insight into how to really understand and appreciate how your AdWords is working for your business. Because at the end of the day, this should add value to your business. That's why it exists, and that's how it works for businesses. Okay, we add value. So you need to understand the information in order to make it work for you. Okay. Now, as we've already gone through, this is just a quick reminder on the slide here that it is a live Q&A, so we will be happy to fulfill any questions that you have. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is tracking your business goal success. Okay. So how do you know that AdWords is working for you? If you've ever owned a physical shop, have you ever counted the number of people that walked into the shop as a measure of success, or indeed the number of people who walked past your shop as a measure of success? I wouldn't really say so. What you want to know is how many of those people actually walk into your shop and engage with your business. Okay, how many people walk in and pick up that product you're trying to sell and pay you money for it? Because that's what we want to know, and that's what the conversion data is all about. So clicks and impressions are people walking past the shop or walking into the shop. Okay, but conversions are people actually fulfilling the desired action that you wish on your website. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. It's the relationship between a return on investment and conversions. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get stuck into this. So what are conversions? Okay, so the who, what, and how of conversions. The who of conversions refer to the people who took the desired action on your ad, okay, or on your website. Now, this could range from anything from an online purchase, signing up to a newsletter, phoning your shop, or indeed reading your blog. Whatever it may be, whatever is your goal, we can measure it, okay? And that's the virtue and that's the beauty of AdWords, and that's what really sets it apart from traditional forms of advertising, okay? Now, we can measure whatever it is that your business goal is, so just keep that in mind. Don't think that, oh, because I'm not an e-commerce store or I don't sell something, that you can't measure it. We absolutely can. It's all about a level of engagement, okay? So the what of conversions, by measuring conversions, you can see how many people made that desired action or performed that desired action. And how? AdWords conversion tracking is a free tool. It's free to implement, and we do provide support in setting that up. So if you do have any questions on how to set it up, or how to implement it, or how to ensure that it's working and triggering correctly, then you can either call into the office here and we'll be happy to work with you, or indeed, as we've said, you can just type in a question now. We'll be more than happy to work with you, okay? So as we've already talked about, why do conversions matter? Okay, now we have touched on this, but let's just go into a little bit more depth, okay? So conversions matter because they measure a return on investment, okay? And as I've said, we're measuring the relationship between return on investment and conversions. Okay, now conversions are intrinsic to you understanding your return on investment, because without them, it's impossible to know how much AdWords is bringing in for your business. Okay, and return on investment is absolutely the most important measure for advertisers, because if you're a business at the end of the day, and you have to measure your revenue and your profit. Okay, so here's just a simple kind of breakdown of the cost structure of how it works. So you must know your costs. Okay, you must know how much each single product that you sell costs you. Okay, and then how much you sell that for. So say, for example, if I buy a product, or if a product costs me $100 or 100 euros to produce, okay, and I sell that product for 200 euros, obviously then there's a profit margin of 100 euros. Okay, now for you to measure that sales figure, okay, you must then multiply it by the amount of conversions you've received on AdWords, okay, and then you can calculate your return on investment by removing the cost of produce from the revenue, and then obviously incorporating the cost that you spent on AdWords. Okay, now this gives us a much more detailed, this slide gives a much more detailed look into that. Okay, and as you can see here, I mean, there's a lot of figures here. It's not really that important. It's quite intuitive. If you are running your own business, you do understand how your profit and your loss works. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go quickly through here. You can see the production cost of $600 if you sold 6 products. Okay, the revenue of those products was 1,200 euros. Okay, and your total AdWords cost was 200. Then you can measure that the overall profit, okay, by incorporating the related campaign cost of your AdWords. Okay, now this is just a very basic overview. Obviously, you may have overheads and a lot of other different costs, but this just from a basic perspective gives you an understanding of where AdWords can work for your business. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we move on. Now that we know we can track conversions, now let's look on. So why track conversions? Why are conversions tracked? Okay, so what you can do is you can connect your ads to your business goals. Okay, so your conversions will show you which keywords are helping you to meet your business goals. Okay, so we'll show you later on, but you can actually import your conversion data into your AdWords table in your account. Okay, and what that means is that you can see which individual keyword, okay, is bringing you the most conversions. So one keyword may be more expensive than another keyword, okay, but if it's bringing in you all your revenue, okay, if it's leading to all the conversions, then it's worth it. Okay, that's what we call value in AdWords. And it means that then you can afford to bid to be the top position on a particular keyword if you know that it's going to bring you in the most conversions. Okay, and this then leads on to the next point of spending your budget wisely. So if there's a keyword that is extremely expensive, okay, maybe it's 50% more expensive than the rest of your keywords, and it's not bringing in any conversions, then maybe look at reducing the budget or even pausing that keyword altogether. Okay, it's about being savvy with your keywords, understanding the insightful information within your keywords, and then making decisions based on the information that you receive. Okay, but what I would say is that is just be careful doing this and make sure you have enough statistical significance within your account before you start chopping and changing keywords. Okay, I would say you might need between 20 and 30 conversions before you can kind of make an informed decision on which keywords are really effective for your campaign, and make sure you're looking over a sustained period of time, maybe either the last 30 days or the last 2 months. Okay, I'll give you a much more in tune perspective on how things are working. All right. So now we're going to go into the conversion data, okay, and all the different and the insightful information the conversion data can offer us. Okay, so firstly, we've got conversions, okay, and that's like the top level information, and this is the total number of all conversions made within your chosen conversion window after an AdWords click. Okay, so this is just the number of purchases made. Okay, now converted clicks is the tally of every AdWords click that resulted in one or more conversions. Okay, so this intuitively would be less than the number of conversions, okay, because one click can lead to more than one conversion. All right, so it takes a little bit of time to get your head around it, but it just means that basically because you've got a conversion window of, say, for example, 90 days, if I click in once, okay, and then make a conversion and then come back at a later date and don't go through AdWords and make another conversion on your website, that could be used as 2 conversions within 1 click. Okay, so just to make sure that you understand that sometimes you can have more conversions than converted clicks. Okay, now the conversion rate is the percentage of clicks that have led to conversions. Okay, so this is a measure of how often a click leads to a conversion on average. Okay, it's always a percentage, and it's always quite low, so don't be too concerned about this, but it can vary from account to account. If you ever have any kind of if you ever worry about how much or what percentage this conversion rate is, then just pick up the phone and call in, okay? and we'll kind of go through it and we'll dissect it, because sometimes what you're going to find is there's some keywords with a high conversion rate and there's some keywords with a very low conversion rate. So as I've said, it's about using that information to your advantage and then making decisions based on the back of that to make sure you improve it. Okay, fantastic. Now the cost per conversion, okay, is the total cost divided by your total conversions. Okay, so on average, you need to see how much on average your conversions cost. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so William, we're just going to pass on to William now to see if he has any questions for us at this interval. So no conversion just at the moment. Oh, no question just at the moment. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we're just going to move on to how to set up the conversion tracking. Okay, so there are 4 different things we need to look at for setting up conversion tracking. Okay, number 1 is the conversion window. Okay, now as I have already mentioned, the conversion window is the time period between someone clicks on your ad and they make a conversion. Okay, now it doesn't have to be straight away, it can be within a time period. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, you can choose how long after an ad click you want to track your conversions for this conversion action. Okay, you can select a window as short as 1 week or as long as 90 days. It's up to yourself. I would select longer just because it gives you more chance to get as many conversions as possible. Okay, now what counts? Okay, so now we can pick, okay, so we can count unique conversions, okay, or, yeah, so unique conversions are basically, we only count people who click on for the first time, okay, or we can count all. Okay, now if you have an e-commerce site, you'll be able to count all, okay, because we want to count as many sales as possible. We want to measure purchases, so we want to measure each and individual purchase. All right, fantastic. And then the conversion value. So now you can pick a value, okay? So how much is each conversion worth to your business? Now, say for example, if you sell something with a consistent value, say for example, it's a pair of socks that for every purchase they cost $3.99. Okay, and this is all you sell. Say for example, you sell custom-made socks for Father's Day. So each and every pair of socks costs you $3.99. So if I were to sell 100 pairs of socks through AdWords, I would know that it would cost £399. In that case, you absolutely should put on a value, okay, because it gives you a much more insightful perspective into how effective the campaign is being viewed, because you can see a monetary value, and we all like seeing the monetary value because that's the bottom line for us, all right? But if, say, for example, you offer a service, okay, say, for example, you're a car valet or you're a tree surgeon, and every single business transaction is worth a different amount to you, okay, depends on the size of the tree, depends on the amount of number of cars that you're selling. You know, there's a whole plethora of different things that it could equate to. In that case, I wouldn't select a value, just because it kind of can skew the information for you, you know. All right, and then the code snippet. Now this is the bit that kind of confuses people a little bit, and I would agree with that. Not everyone is a web developer, including myself. Okay, so we just have to understand and we have to simplify it. All right, and so for that reason, Google provides you with the code snippet. Okay, it's just a little snippet of code that you place onto whatever page you want to track. Okay, so say for example, the page is, it's the thank you page after you fill in a form, or it's the page that says you want some feedback on a blog, or whatever the page is that would mean that someone has performed the desired action for you. Okay, then you can just place this code on the page, and then AdWords will be able to track that page. So this code is absolutely integral to conversion tracking working, and conversion tracking will not work without it. So we need to remember that we need to input it. Now, we do support this, so again, if you're having any trouble putting the code in, you don't know where to put it in, you don't know where to receive it, then just call us in. I'll let you know now, to get the code, you first of all have to set up conversions. So just in the little top right hand corner of your screen there, it's going to say tools, and then it's going to say conversions. And then once you click on conversions, you'll see a big red plus conversion button. And then from here, you go through all these steps: conversion window, count menu, conversion value, and then you'll get the tracking code. So here, it'll actually produce the tracking code for you, and then you can copy and paste the code into your site. Now, if you have a web developer that you're in regular contact with, you can just email him the code from this page. There is an option to email that person from this page, or indeed, as I've said, you can copy and paste it yourself. So if you have a web host, or if you have access to the back end of your website, you can absolutely just go through and copy and paste that code in. It's absolutely not a problem, but it's up to yourself, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay. So we've kind of gone through this already, but as the slide goes through, you know, it's in order to get your accurate results, the snippet must be placed on the page your customers see after they complete a conversion. And as I've gone through, depending on your business goal, depending on what you want to track or who you want to track, you can go through and you can track whatever page you want, whatever it is. Sorry, whatever it is you want to track, whether it's selling something, reading a blog, signing up to a newsletter, whatever it is, you can track it as long as you have a specific page that means that they have fulfilled that particular value, okay? Or as long as they've performed that particular task, you can track it. All right. Now, telephone calls. Now we are, as a company, okay, we're really devoted to telephone calls and mobile because we understand that as a business using AdWords, okay, you need people to drive conversions. And we're talking about people who need people, maybe not to go to a website as such, but definitely to pick up the phone and start calling, okay? And we want people, and that's how people really measure success, okay? Now, a new feature we've just released is something called call-only ads and call-only campaigns, okay? Which means that if you're using your mobile, okay, if you click on it, it doesn't even go to a website, it clicks straight onto the telephone number, okay? So you can track that straight away. So that's a new feature, and it's an absolutely fantastic feature. And if you do kind of run a campaign that relies on people picking up the phone, then I absolutely would recommend using this feature because it is fantastic. But if you're not using that feature, if you're using a normal campaign, then you can still track those calls, okay, as conversions. Now, what you need to do is you just need to add a telephone number to your ad using call extensions, okay? And once you do that, you need to make sure and ensure that you're using a Google forwarding phone number within the call extension. Okay. Now this is a unique Google phone number, okay, that we assign to your ad. Now when it shows up, it's not going to show as your particular number, okay? So I mean, a lot of advertisers are a little bit apprehensive about using it because, you know, they want, if there's a localized business, they want to make sure they're using a local number, and we understand that. So but what you can see, if you use it on a mobile phone, okay, there's actually just a little mobile button on the phone, and what that does, that actually hides the number, so the consumer or the customer won't be able to see that number. They'll be able to just ring you straight from the advert, and you will receive the business. Okay, so it's a kind of win-win situation for all parties, which is fantastic. Okay. Now we're going to go on to understanding your performance. Okay. Now we've gone through conversions, we've gone through how to measure return on investment, but what I want to know now is can we infer from the information within your AdWords account how it's performing, okay? Now there are 4 ways we're going to look into here. We've got status, okay, so the status of your campaign, your ad group, your ads, and your keywords, okay? So the status will show a number of different options as we're going to go through now in a minute. Secondly, we're going to go through the click-through rate. Now the click-through rate kind of looks at the health of your advert, okay? It's a measure or a proportion of the number of clicks per impression, okay? The average cost per click, okay, is the average cost that you are, the average cost that you pay for every single click that you receive across your campaign, or your keyword, or your ad, whatever it is you want to measure, because obviously they're all going to be different, and then your average position, okay? So we're going to go through those 4 things now. Now, first of all, the status, okay? Now, the structure of your campaign means that the overarching theme is the campaign, okay? And everything lives within the campaign, if you understand. So you have campaign, then you have your ad groups, and within your ad groups, you have your ads and then your keywords, okay? So what you need to understand that, say, for example, if you have your campaign paused, that means that everything within your campaign will be paused. If you have an ad group paused, it will mean that every single ad and every single keyword within that ad group will be paused, okay? Now, it's just getting your head around this campaign structure is the key to understanding the status of each individual keyword and advert and ad group and campaign, okay? So, so one status change of each can affect a lot of different things in the campaign. So you just need to remember that and keep your eye on that. So we get a lot of calls, you know, saying, you know, my ads aren't running. That's because, you know, an ad group may be paused, but the ads may say running, you know, or the ads may say enabled, but the ad group is paused. So you just need to keep an eye on that. If you do pause an ad group, you will pause all the ads within that ad group, okay? So as we're just going to go through now, we're just going to go through each individual level of the campaign. So you have the campaign status column, okay, of all online campaigns. And this is going to tell you whether the campaigns are active or not, okay, and whether your campaign is limited by budget, okay. Secondly, you have the ad group, okay, let you know whether your ad group is active or it's not active. So, and then as I've gone through, it's the same with the ad. You know, the ad status signals whether or not your ad is active, okay. And as I've said, if you pause an ad group or a campaign, it will pause your ad. Okay. Now, finally, the keyword. Okay, and you do actually get the most information from the different keyword statuses. So, say for example, the status on a keyword may say a number of different things, and I'm just gonna list them down for you now. Okay, so it's going to say whether it's showing the ads. Okay, it might say it's not showing the ads because you paused a related keyword, ad group, or campaign. Okay, or it might say not showing ads because there is an issue with your account or keyword. Now, an issue can be any number of things. Okay, it could be, say for example, if you're below the first page bid. Okay, it could say for example, if there's a policy issue. Okay, say for example, if your website has been suspended for whatever reason, or if you're violating another policy such as maybe trademarks. So there's a whole number of things, but you can actually see all that information here. So it's actually really good for you to be able to understand this information, know where to find it, and know how to deal with it. Okay. Now the Google AdWords Help Center can offer you every single solution to all of these problems. But as I've said previously, we're always at the other end of the phone. If you ever need any help, you know where we are, and we'll be able to go through any of these problems with you. We're absolutely here to help. Okay. Now, thirdly, the click-through rate. Okay. Now, the click-through rate is a really, really good measure of the health of your keywords and ads. Okay. It measures, so the CTR is the clicks over impressions. So say, for example, if your ad has received 100 impressions, so it showed up 100 times and received 1 click, okay, that will be a click-through rate of 1%. Okay, so it's always shown as a percentage. So it tells you kind of the level of engagement that your ad is having with your customers. Now, in last week's session, or 2 weeks ago, we went through how to professionally and effectively write your ad. Okay, now this is all about kind of making sure that you use professional language, that you've spelled everything correctly, that you're using the right punctuation. And there's also a whole lot of other tricks, like making sure the first letter of each word is capitalized. Okay, now using all this really boosts your click-through rate, and also adding the site links as well is a real positive boost for your ads click-through rate. Okay, so you make sure that you kind of you go through all these little tricks to ensure that your click-through rate is as high as possible, because if you've got a higher click-through rate, there's more relevant consumers finding your website, and that's what this is all about at the end of the day. And what we would say is that, kind of as a rule of thumb, is that a strong CTR is generally around or just over 1%. Okay, that's a really healthy click-through rate, and it's obviously then, if you can be above that, fantastic, but you really do want to get it over that 1%. And there's a number of different ways that you can do that, and we'll go through that just a little bit later on. Okay, now the average cost per click, okay, as I've said, is the average cost that you pay per click on your advert across your campaign. Okay, now this is not exactly based upon what you've set as your maximum bid or your maximum cost per click bid. Okay, you will never go above that bid, but you will more often than not be below that bid, because we will never charge you more, okay, than it is to get you onto whatever position you want to be. Okay, we're going to get onto average position in a little bit longer, but you never have to bid, way up and above the position you want to be in. Just bid on that position, and we'll never charge you any more than that. Okay, now average position. It specifies where your ad is appearing on Google search results. This gives you a sense of how visible your ad is. Position 1 all the way to position 11 can appear in the first page of results. Now, obviously, we've all used Google before, okay, to go and find something, to find a present for somebody, or to find a car wash, or whatever it is we've used it for. But I must say that I've very rarely gone below the kind of top 5 or 6 positions. So what you need to do is, within your keywords page on your AdWords account, you need to make sure that you kind of look at the average position column, you work your way down through it, and you ensure that all your average positions are as high as you would like to be. Okay, now what you can do is you can add in a column, okay, within this table, and the column is called sorry, bear with me. The column is the estimated top page bid column, okay, and this is the system estimating what it's going to cost you, with all the information that you have, what it's going to cost you to get onto the top 3 positions or onto the top page, okay. And to do this, if you just click on the columns button at the top of the page, and then click on modify columns, and then click on attributes on the left hand side, and then where it says estimated top page bid, if you click on add beside there and then apply, once you've done that, come back to the keywords table, and you'll see on the right hand side, the very far right hand side of that table, the estimated top page bid that you'll have to make, okay? And then you'll be able to see what you're bidding at the moment, and the discrepancy between that will show your average position. If you're bidding, say, for example, 50 pence at the moment, the estimated top page bid is, say, for example, £2.50, you know that you're not going to be in the top 3 positions. So it's about manipulating that, using these bids effectively to ensure that you're kind of reaching the right people at the right time, but at the right price, absolutely. And what comes back into this again is talking about the conversions, because if one keyword is costing you maybe say £3 or £4, but it's bringing in all your conversions, then maybe it's worth bidding that amount because you know that it's going to bring you in more money than it's going to cost you, okay? And as I've said, it's all about using that insightful information and the statistical significance within the account to your advantage. Okay, so I'm just going to pass you back on to Will there.
And just a quick reminder to everyone who's watching, if you've got any questions about anything we've done so far, anything we've covered, or if you want us to go over anything again or clarify anything, do please pop in a question there on the right. I'd be really happy to go through all of this. Thanks, Connor, for everything so far. Certainly learned lots myself today.
No problem. Will, do you have anything to add, maybe?
No, I think it's really interesting what you've done, talking about sort of click-through rates, the cost per clicks. Just sort of something to ask, like when I first open up an account there, would you recommend I look firstly at the cost per click or the click-through rate or even sort of the total number or the modifier columns thing you're talking about? What's the best to look at first?
Yeah. Okay, well, firstly, I'd like to welcome William back. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a technical problem there, and we lost Will for a couple of minutes, but delighted to have him back. What I would say, probably the most important thing, because it kind of leads on to everything else, is look at the status column, okay, to see whether your ad is actually showing or the keyword is actually triggering the advert, okay? If that says yes, then we can kind of look into the information. If that says no, it's going to tell you why it's not showing, and then we'll know immediately what we need to look at. If it is saying yes, then what I do is go to your average position. Okay, if your average position is, say, for example, over 5 or 6, then I'd look maybe at the bidding, or maybe the cost, or maybe the click-through rate, and then I kind of try and juggle all those figures to get the click-through rate up over 1% by increasing the bid, and then in turn they all kind of work together in unison to make your keyword and your ad as effective as possible to get the highest up the page within your budget, and make sure you're driving that relevant traffic to your website. Is that all right for you, Will? What do you think?
I think that makes lots of sense. Thanks for that, Connor. So, yeah, looking forward to hearing what you've got coming up next.
Not a problem. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so as we've spoken about, it's really, really important that you do make this a habit. Okay, you do make sure that looking at your account and understanding your account performance becomes a habit. Okay, AdWords is not just a return on investment in terms of money; it's also a return on investment in terms of time spent with it. Okay. You need to be able to work your way, navigate your way through the account to ensure that everything is set up as you would like, that you're spending only the amount that you're willing to spend. Okay, the last thing we want is to have something running for maybe 3 to 4 to 5 weeks and get a horrible bill because you don't really understand what you've spent it on or how you spent it or your daily budget. So by logging in all the time, it mitigates against those problems. Okay, so ensure that you're logging in as often as possible and you understand what's working and what isn't working with your account by using that insightful information and ensuring that you're using statistical significance to make those kind of information-driven decisions. Okay, we recommend logging in at least weekly to get a snapshot of your statistics. Okay. And remember that you can view performance data at different levels of detail in your account. So you can look at a campaign overview, okay, to give you the bare bones of how your campaign's working. You can look at the ad groups, okay, and that separates it further. Then you can separate it further by looking at the ads in particular, and then finally the keywords to get the most granular view of how the campaign is working. Now, on top of that, we can segment the data by date range, okay. So say, for example, if you've had your account running for 3 months and you want to compare how the changes have worked in your account over these 3 months, okay? What you want to do is in the top right-hand corner of your screen, there's a little gray rectangle which says date range, and you can change that date range and amend that date range to look at a particular time period, okay? So say, for example, if you want to compare the first month with the second month, you can do that. You can just say, okay, look at the first one, look at the data, maybe jot the data down, and then look at the third month, okay? And then see how those changes have improved the performance over time. And now I can assure you, if you do work with the information, and you do kind of follow our follow our path and our structure and how to really create effective keywords, ad groups, and ads, what you're going to find is that steadily over time your click-through rate is going to grow. Okay, your number of clicks is going to grow. Okay, and then hopefully over time your conversions will follow. Okay, now it is a process. It does take time. It can't happen overnight. So you need to have some patience with it. Okay, and that's why we do provide you with promotional codes whenever you open up your account, because we know that it works, but we just need people to kind of have a bit of faith in the system. Okay, and really work with it and use the promotional codes that we provide in order to get the most from online advertising. Okay, so. Yeah, absolutely. As the slide says, use the performance metrics we discussed to understand what works and what doesn't work, make tweaks to improve your results, and then invest in the ads that are more effective. And that's when we bring in the conversion data. Okay, what advert brought in the most conversions? Okay, well, it makes sense to then invest in that advert particularly. Okay, now let's just go through a quick review before we go back to field any questions. Now, if we haven't unfortunately received any questions today, then I think William can just maybe kind of just go through a few different things with us that maybe I've missed out. But yeah, review key performance metrics regularly to gauge your success. Define a desired advertiser action as conversion. Okay, so as I said, it doesn't matter what your business goal is online, we can measure it, and that's the beauty of AdWords. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you're selling socks, or you're a tree surgeon, or you're a heart surgeon. Okay, it doesn't matter. We can track it as long as you have a page on your website that says, "Thank you for filling in the contact form. Thank you for purchasing our socks." We can track that, and that's the beauty of AdWords. Okay, and then you can implement conversion tracking to more appropriately track your return on investment. I've just kind of gone through that, so there's no need to do that again. And then implement call extensions with call conversion tracking to track phone calls from AdWords. Okay, now as I've said, for a lot of advertisers, phone calls are absolutely the most imperative factor in the account. Okay, you might want people to go to the website. You might be proud of your website, and you want people just to pick up the phone. Okay, you want to get people on the phone, and you want to start talking to them. Okay, you want to really engage with your customers. So that's why I would definitely recommend using call extensions and then implementing conversion tracking by using a Google forwarding phone number. Now, just a quick tip for you: remember, you cannot have your phone number in the ad text of the ad. Okay, unfortunately, your ad will be disapproved. You must use it as a call extension. Okay, and call extensions don't cost any money. Okay, if someone clicks on a call, okay, it's going to cost the same as if they were to click on your website. So really, it is a win-win situation. Now, before I do a final wrap up, I'm going to pass you back to William, and he's going to go through anything I potentially missed, or if we've received any questions. Hopefully, here's fingers crossed. Back to you, William.
Thanks a lot, Connor. That was really interesting, going through all that. Certainly refreshed a lot of things in my memory there. Some of the things that I sort of come across day to day whilst helping people with their accounts is about conversion tracking and the actual data that you can then get with it. People say, okay, I've got conversion tracking set up, now what? So one of the things that Connor talked quite a bit about was to say, okay, it's identifying those keywords and the ads that aren't working as well as the others. So if you find that a particular advert or a particular keyword you're spending quite a bit of money on, but it's not actually resulting in as many conversions as the others, what you can do is you've got probably two main choices. One is to pause them entirely, or the other is to up your bids slightly on the ones which are working best for you. So you're making sure that your overall budget is best being spent on the adverts and the keywords that are actually working best for your business. Because at the end of the day, clicks are really great, but it's those business goals that you want to be focusing on. So an ad with a really high click-through rate, lots and lots of clicks, is fine, so long as you are getting lots of conversions, and it's identifying those conversions there. Connor, would you agree on that?
I absolutely would. You've hit the nail on the head there. As I've said, and as William said, it's all about understanding the information and the data within your account to ensure that you're kind of reaching the right people at the right time who are going to go and make that conversion. Okay, but you can only do that by creating, implementing conversion tracking, and by having a really effective campaign. So these things cannot happen individually; they have to happen together in unison, collaboratively. And once they do that, I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic time online.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Connor, for sharing all that with us, and thank you too for joining in.
No problem. So just a final wrap up now.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
Yeah, so thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you get back to us next week for more information. These are going to continue on for the next couple of weeks, and we will continue covering more and more topics. So if you want to get to the very end of that, I mean, there's endless amounts that you can understand, but make sure you keep tuning in to learn more and more. All right, so I'll pass you back to Will, and he'll just he'll tie us up. Thanks a million.
Thanks, Connor. And yeah, so just reiterating Connor's advice, just do tune in and follow more of these Hangouts on air. Hoping to do a presentation myself in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, in the meantime, if you do have any questions about your account, you can always ring us. It's the number at the top right-hand corner of the AdWords screen. And yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in today. My name is William. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.